As a child, I distinctly remember my teacher describing America as the shining city upon a hill. Throughout my life, I heard those words repeated by politicians, parents, patriots, teachers, and many others. It seemed like the common and collective belief that as Americans, we were special, a nation chosen to be the best and to light the way for those following in our footsteps. America the free, America the bold, America the exceptional. We build doctrines to support these beliefs. We are the democratic experiment with a duty to uphold democracy. We are cut from the same cloth as the adventurers Lewis and Clark, the same as George Washington riding across the Delaware River to defend freedom. Even though many of us refuse to say it, the American identity is the identity of struggle against tyranny. To be patriotic is to defend freedom, a goal that is just always out of reach. Each generation has fought for and added to the civil liberties we possess. In the beginning, only a few could vote, but over the course of 2 centuries, the average citizen possesses rights that would have seemed foreign to the average American in the 18th century. But have we not begun to slide backwards? The plate of change have begun to shift. The threat of populism boils and seethes beneath the surface. Is this not self-evident? The biggest example is Donald Trump, an agent of Bedlam. The man spent 4 years attacking our fundamental freedoms. He packed the Supreme Court, committed crimes in office, upended the civil process, killed civilians, threatened us, the American people, like he was God and we should be worshiping him, expecting us to hang on to his every word as if he was one of the prophets. The most evident example is from an event not too far in the past. Go back to January 6th. Without Trump, there would have been no riot. There would have been no people storming the Capitol chanting his name. The true danger is that the people attacking our democracy honestly believe that they are defending it. The people who stormed the Capitol genuinely believe that Joe Biden is illegitimate and so is his mandate, and Trump has absolute dominion. That is inherently undemocratic. Trumpism is a cancer that is sucking the life of our democracy, and we need to cut this blight out. The only way to fight this disease of populism and division is for American citizens to become more politically literate. For we the people are America, and we need to begin to remind those in power that their authority is not derived from any god, king, tyrant, supernatural force, or even from a 200-year-old piece of paper. But it is instead derived from us, the people, the American citizens. So how do we change this? How can you, one person, affect change on a national scale? We have to make our voices heard in any way possible, whether that is joining an organization and attending protests or rallies for politicians that actually serve the people. Studies show that people are more likely to change their perspectives on issues if they see demonstrations for that issue in their own cities. But most importantly, vote. The right to vote is under attack like never before. The laws surrounding who can vote and where and when are tightening like a stranglehold. Voting is the best way to make our voices heard. We need to vote whenever possible and hold our officials accountable. In 2020, only 67% of registered voters voted, while only 73% of eligible adults were registered to vote. How can we hope to affect change if only a slim majority is politically literate enough to vote? How many of those people who did vote researched whom they were voting for in depth? How many people, that 67%, knew their impacts the vote would have? Too often, crooks are elected to office simply by the party they belong to or the endorsements they can collect. With more voters, in addition to better political literacy, we can elect officials who genuinely care about the people and will affect change in a top-down manner. We also need to affect change from the bottom up. You and I can attend city council meetings, donate to equitable charities, or even run for local office. If more people with open minds and pure intentions make their voices heard on the local level, it will spill over to the national level, as history has often shown. The window to affect change is rapidly closing. Will you step up to the challenge? The fate of democracy is in our hands.